The Mueller report is finally out, so is it time to impeach US President Donald Trump? I'll ask one of his campaign advisors. Marc Porter, thank you for joining me on UpFront. On the very first page of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's 448-page report, he says, and I quote, "The Russian government interfered in the 2016 presidential election in sweeping and systematic fashion. It's been more than a week since it was released to Congress and to the public, and yet we've heard not one single word of condemnation of the Russian government from President Trump. Why not?"
Well, first of all, this is a process. These are things that we have to take a look at. Also, why isn't anyone asking the Russian government about these sorts of things? Why aren't they making any comments on this? Secondly, the most important thing is there was no crimes committed by anyone around the Trump administration that had anything to do with this. This is clearly a distraction, as we've talked about many times before. Trump is exonerated. He did nothing wrong. And this has been a huge, huge distraction. If there are problems with our democracy in terms of interference, foreign interference, something should be done, and there are investigations going on in Congress about this now.
You are right to say that he was not accused of committing a crime in relation to Russia by Robert Mueller. Obstruction of justice is another matter. We will come on to that in a moment, Mark. But before we do, you said this is a process, as if he doesn't have time, as if he's doing other things. He's found time over the last week, President Trump, to attack Robert Mueller and his team. He's attacked the Democrats. He's accused them of treason. He's attacked CNN. He's demanded the New York Times get on its knees and apologize to him. He's attacked Mitt Romney. He's attacked the FBI as dirty cops. Not one word from him, no anger whatsoever, that the Russian government launched an attack on American democracy. The President of the United States doesn't seem to care.
Oh, no. You understand why. The Russians didn't attack Trump. The Democrats did. So therefore, Trump's attacking back. As we've talked about many times, Trump has one rule, and that is if you attack him, he's going to attack you back.
So he only cares about himself. He doesn't care about the country he leads.
Oh,
Mark, those are your words.
Here we go.
You said the Russians didn't attack him. I know, but they attacked the United States. That's what Mueller says. Imagine if President Obama ignored a foreign attack on the U.S., you'd be up in arms.
Very good point, Mehdi. Obama knew that this was happening and did nothing. So why didn't he say something? So don't push this on Trump. You know that that's not fair.
Well, I'm asking a very simple question. It is fair. In 7 days since the report came out, why has he not condemned a sweeping and systematic attack on American democracy? Very odd that the President of the United States has said not a word about it. He's busy attacking the New York Times and Mitt Romney.
No, come on. This is a partisan attack, and you know it. And I say clearly that if you're going to attack a sovereign power, you need to have more information than simply what Mueller wrote in the report. This is not a very professional way of going to this.
You like the bit that clears you.
You're cherry-picking from the report.
How am I cherry-picking? I've conceded that the report says he did not criminally conspire with Russia. You're ignoring the bit which says Russia attacked America, and the president doesn't care.
I'm not ignoring it.
You said he only cares about himself. Mark, your words. You said he only cares when people attack him. You said it. People watched you say it.
That's not caring about himself. You're twisting my words now, Mehdi. Now listen carefully. What I'm saying is that when the report came out, there is a way that we deal with these things, and that's investigations. Okay. The Democrats also have the right to do investigations.
Mark. Okay, here's a question
Why
to you,
didn't Mueller come out with concrete facts? There are no concrete facts on this in the report.
Fine. Let's see what
not by the Russian government, by private Russian citizens.
That's not true. That is not true. The Mueller report makes it very clear that it's Russian military intelligence. Those are not private citizens, Mark. Please don't gaslight our viewers. GRU are not private citizens.
Look, you're twisting things around.
You literally just said private citizens. Stop saying twisting. I'm quoting you. Right. Can we agree this was Russian military intelligence?
Wait, the report's 400 pages, like you said, Mehdi. There's a lot in there. So what is your point?
My point is, do we both agree that it wasn't Russian private citizens involved in the election? It was Russian military intelligence. You were wrong to say they were Russian private citizens.
There were also Russian private citizens. What are you trying to do? What is your real point here?
A very simple point. You just said it was only private citizens. I'm saying, can we agree it was Russian military intelligence hacked into the Democratic National Committee according to the Mueller report?
According to the Mueller report, that's right.
The Mueller report says that the Trump campaign welcomed the hacking and were enthusiastic about it. if another president had been accused of that, you would be up in arms.
Don't you remember history when George Bush also had this fact where they went to the British intelligence and tried to get dirt on Clinton? Clintons did this on Trump. Everyone does this, trying to get
Clinton
information,
did not try and get hacked information from Russian military intelligence. Let me ask you this question.
What are you talking?
Let me ask you this question. Just to be clear, the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said a few days ago, quote, "There's nothing wrong with taking information from Russians." And you seem to be suggesting everyone does it.
Or anybody else.
Or anybody else. Okay, so you're both in agreement, you and the president's
right.
lawyer. So on that basis, come the 2020 election, are you really therefore okay with Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden or whoever the Democratic presidential candidate is, calling for China to hack Donald Trump's emails or his tax returns that he's so zealously guarding? Are you okay with Biden or Sanders' kids holding a secret meeting with the representatives of the Iranian government to get dirt on Donald Trump? Are you okay with that, seriously?
Have you never worked on a campaign before? You know how this works. You dig up dirt where you can get it, and there's nothing illegal about it. And Democrats do this.
I'm asking you a question.
Democrats do this exactly like
that's exactly my
else.
question. So you're okay with the Democratic candidate next year saying, China, please hack Donald Trump's emails. You're okay with the child.
That's not the same thing. That is not what Donald Trump did. He did not go to them.
He literally said
Russia, they offered things.
Russia find Hillary Clinton's emails. He said it in front of our eyes, Mark. You are gaslighting. You are not to believe our own eyes.
Gaslighting is what you're doing right now, Maddie.
Are you okay with the Democratic presidential candidate next year sarcastically asking for the Chinese government to hack into Donald Trump's tax returns? You're okay with that? Please just confirm yes or no. It's a very simple question.
Sarcasm's part of the English language. They can say as they like.
And are you okay with the Democratic presidential candidate's children meeting with members of the Iranian government to get dirt on Donald Trump? Yes or no?
Look, Betty.
It's a yes or no question, Mark.
Who they want.
It's very simple. Are you okay with that?
It's not a yes or no question. You know that you're mixing things up.
I'm not mixing anything. I'm asking you a hypothetical. Are you okay?
What are you really trying to say?
It's a very simple.
What are you really trying to say?
It's very simple.
It's not a simple question, and you know it.
According to you and Rudy Giuliani, everyone does it. You can get foreign help in emails from foreigners, hacked materials. Can the Democrats also do that next year? Tit for tat. You're the one who says everyone does it.
I'm going to say it one more time. People have the right to meet with who they want to, and if you're going to go around spying on people and putting eavesdropping, spying equipment on it, that is wrong.
I didn't spy on anyone. I'm asking. So you're okay with the Democrats doing that? Just in terms of how much President Trump undermined this investigation and misled the public, this is what he was saying not long ago about Russian involvement. I want to play something to you if you can listen. This is what he was saying not long ago about the Russian involvement that Mueller so clearly documents.
And by the way, folks, just in case you're curious, no, Russia did not help me. Okay? Russia. I call it the Russian hoax.
He was wrong about that, Mark. He lied. Mueller and the intelligence.
He was not wrong about that. No one changed their vote because of a Facebook page.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said, Mark. Mark, that's not what he said. He didn't say. He said no. He did. I just played the clip, Mark. No, Russia did not help me.
Russia did help.
He
won it by himself.
This is what the Mueller report says very explicitly, that Russia intervened to help Donald Trump. Even Rudy Giuliani conceded that on Sunday.
To help, not help. To help, not helped. Why are you twisting your words around like this? Russia did not change anybody's minds. People voted for that. Don't try to take this election away from them.
Okay, hold on. Let's try another one here. Let's keep it as simple as possible. The New York Times reported last year that Donald Trump ordered the firing of Robert Mueller in the summer of 2017. The president denied it. In fact, this is what he said in Davos at the time.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
What's your message today?
Typical New York Times fake stories.
Mr. Trump.
We now know from the Mueller report that was another lie from Donald Trump. Mueller says there's substantial evidence that the president tried to have Mueller removed from his job. Don McGahn, the president's lawyer, says he was asked to remove Mueller from his job. Trump lied again.
What's your question?
Why did he lie?
How do I know? I'm not representing the president.
But you accept that's a lie. You accept that's a lie, right? That he lied. He said it was fake news that he tried to fire Mueller. We now know that he did try to fire Mueller.
What is this whole show about? You're trying to say that Trump's a liar.
It's about the Mueller report. You heard of it. It's 448 pages.
It's not about the Mueller report.
I'm literally reading from the Mueller report. I'm literally reading page 88 of the Mueller report. Substantial evidence, however, supports the conclusion that the president went further and, in fact, directed McGahn to call Rosenstein, the deputy attorney general, to have the special counsel removed. So Donald Trump was lying in Davos. Do we agree on that? Then we can move on. Do we agree on that?
This is absurd because what happened in the Mueller report is, in fact, the exoneration of Trump. And now we need to look at how this was created in the first place. Let's please move forward. Why was this Mueller investigation
created? Why did he lie about firing Mueller? It's a very simple question. You can say you don't know, but I'm just
Call
asking.
the White House and ask it. Mehdi, you're going to really waste all this time on these picky little things when you should be looking at the bigger picture.
Robert Mueller wrote a report
yes,
in which he exonerated
things.
your man on Russia, but he didn't exonerate him on obstruction of justice. He very explicitly said, we are not exonerating him. Trump said it's a complete and total exoneration. Why did he lie about the Mueller report again? He didn't. It doesn't exonerate him.
You love that word lie, but you do it all the time right here on your own show.
Okay, the viewers can make their mind up. I've asked you several
say,
questions here. It's a very simple question. The report says it does not exonerate.
No question you ask is simple.
Oh, I'm trying to keep them as simple as possible, Mark. This is as simple as I can get. Mueller says it does not exonerate him. Trump says total exoneration. Is that not a lie, Mark, to say that a report exonerates you when the report explicitly says it doesn't? Help me out here.
The report said no crime was done. Period.
It does not say that, Mark.
That's exoneration.
That is a lie. You are lying to our viewers.
Look,
it says, and I
read.
quote, let's try again. While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him.
There you go.
Mueller gave obstruction of justice to Congress to decide. He says, I'm not taking a decision on obstruction of justice, but here's the evidence for it. 10
He
cases.
should have. He could have, and
Maybe.
he didn't. He wanted to keep this whole thing open, of course, and that's just fine. It's completely political whitewash, and you know it.
That's funny, because if it's a political whitewash, you're saying then he wasn't exonerated on Russia. So he was. So he may still have been involved in a conspiracy with the Russians, right? According to you, if we dismiss the Mueller report, then Trump could still be a Russian asset. Or are you cherry picking?
Don't be ridiculous. This is completely ridiculous.
You don't think it clears the president on Russia?
It does clear the...
So you like that part of it, and I'm asking, but it also suggests he's guilty of obstruction of justice. I'm just wondering why you're picking and choosing from a 448-page report. I'm not. I'm with you on that. I'm saying you're right. It has cleared him on Russia. I'm saying let's talk about the obstruction, and you're saying...
So what are we
it's all a
talking
whitewash.
about?
Obstruction of justice. Mueller, 10 cases in the report.
I just told you. It clears Trump. There was $30-something million spent on this. 2 years. Mueller investigated everybody all over the place.
That's not true.
And found nothing.
President Trump tweeted this week, quote, if the partisan Dems, the Democrats, ever tried to impeach, I would first head to the U.S. Supreme Court. What does that mean, Mark? What would he do at the U.S. Supreme Court?
You're going to have to ask the president about that. He has a legal strategy, and if you want to know what that is, then you should call the White House.
But impeachment is not a legal case. It's a political case by the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Constitution makes very clear it's only for the Senate and the House to decide on impeachment. Supreme Court doesn't play a role. Bit weird.
Actually,
the president claiming the Supreme Court has a role to play.
The House starts impeachment process, and the Senate has to ratify.
Yes.
The Supreme Court can weigh in on all sorts of things as they like after it happens.
That's not true.
So where's your
the
problem
Supreme
there?
Court in 1993 said impeachment is only in the Senate and nowhere else. Nobody thinks the Supreme Court has a role.
On all sorts of things.
He'll be gone.
Listen to
if the
what I'm
Senate
trying to
convicts him, he's
say.
gone. The Supreme Court plays no role in impeachment. You know it, and I know it. I don't know why you're defending the president.
I said the Supreme Court can weigh in on it.
How?
Why are you twisting
how does
my
it weigh
words
in?
like
I'm just
this?
wondering how it weighs in. Supreme Court has no role in the impeachment process.
If there is impeachment and it was found that the process in the House or the Senate was not done justly, then the Supreme Court can weigh in on it.
There's literally no word in the
What's your
Constitution
problem
that
with
says that, by the way. Just for our viewers, that's not true. It's not in the Constitution what you just said.
We had three,
There's a separation of powers,
of government.
and impeachment is only for Senate and House.
Right.
Impeachment has nothing to do with the Supreme Court. You know that. Mark, you know that and I know that, but you're forced to defend the president. You told me earlier you don't want to defend him. Now you are defending him. We gave you a headline. A lot of people say, Mark, a lot of people say you shouldn't have Trump spokesmen on TV because they lie and gaslight. I said, no, let's give them a chance to come on and talk about the moral. You don't want to talk about it. What can I do? We tried very hard.
I'm trying to talk about it. You're talking about these ridiculous little things rather than the bigger picture of what's actually happening.
We'll have to agree to disagree that obstruction of justice and lying to the American people is a little thing. But thank you, Marc Porter, for joining me on UpFront. Appreciate you taking time out.
Thanks, Mehdi. Take care.
This year is the 40th anniversary of the Iranian Revolution, and this week, US President Donald Trump continued to try and isolate Iran by moving to cut off its oil revenues. Earlier, I spoke with Iranian dissident, Nobel Peace Laureate, and human rights lawyer Shirin Ebadi, and began by asking her how she feels about a revolution she once supported.
به ما وعده میدادند که در جمهوری اسلامی به استقلال و آزادی میرسیم. و حرفایی که آقای خمینی قبل از اینکه به ایران میامد خیلی زیبا بود. میگفت همه آزادن، زنها برابرن و خیلی حرفای خوب دیگه. اما به محض اینکه به ایران برگشت و به قدرت رسید، همه حرفاش معلوم شد دروغه و ما حتی مختصر آزادی هایی هم که داشتیم از دست دادیم.
You're known around the world these days as one of the most high-profile Iranian dissidents, a supporter of the various reform movements inside of Iran. But recently, you seem to have hardened your stance. You now say reforming the system won't work. You've called it useless. You've said you want regime change in Tehran. Why?
20 ساله که راه‌های مختلف در ایران تجربه شد برای اینکه ببینیم این رژیم رو میشه اصلاح کرد یا نه. اما همه تجربه ها شکست خورد متاسفانه و هیچ اصلاحی در ایران صورت نخواهد گرفت مگر اینکه قانون اساسی عوض بشه و این کاری است که بایستی به وسیله مردم ایران و در داخل ایران صورت بگیره. من معتقد به دخالت خارجی نیستم، اما تأکید میکنم با قانون اساسی فعلی هیچ نوع اصلاحاتی امکان پذیر نیست. تجربه نشون داد.
You've said you don't condone any foreign intervention, but you do want to change the regime and change the constitution. Aren't you worried that when you talk about changing the government, you're only encouraging the hawks in Washington, D.C., in Tel Aviv, in Riyadh? Aren't you worried about a potentially devastating attack on Iran from the US, given the aggressive anti-Iranian rhetoric that we hear from Donald Trump, from Mike Pompeo, from John Bolton? Are you perhaps unwittingly playing into their hands?
ارتش ایران خیلی قویه و میتونه از ایران دفاع بکنه و در این حال فراموش نکنید اگر الان روزه و شما بگید روزه، آیا دیگران بخوان از این سوء استفاده بکنن؟ شما بایستی حقیقت رو بپوشانید. من مخالف هر نوع دخالت خارجی در ایران هستم و تکرار میکنم حقیقت آن است که با این قانون اساسی هیچ نوع اصلاحاتی در ایران امکان نداره.
One thing you do support that Trump is always talking about and threatening more of are sanctions against Iran. But you say you want sanctions that don't hurt the Iranian people. What kind of sanctions are those? Is that even possible?
بله. تحریم هایی هست که حکومت رو میتونه ضعیفتر بکنه. از جمله اینکه دولت ایران تلویزیون های غیر فارسی زبان داره که روی ستلایت های غربی برنامه پخش میکنه. استفاده از این ستلایت ها رو برای ایران ممنوع بکنید که ایران بلندگوهای تبلیغاتیش رو قطع بکنه.
But putting sanctions on satellites or on foreign channels, it's not going to bring down the Iranian government. You yourself said it has a very strong military. It's been around for 40 years. That's pretty mild in terms of what you say you want to achieve.
بله، اما فکر میکنید که چطور میشه که مردم برخی از جوانهای سوریه یا لبنانی و یا یمنی از ایران حمایت میکنن؟ از طریق همین تلویزیون هاست که جوانها رو فریب میدن.
You, along with 14 other Iranian intellectuals and dissidents, signed a petition calling for a UN-supervised referendum in Iran to determine whether the government has the support of the people. What do you think such a referendum would actually achieve if you could even pull it off, given Iran is a deeply divided country? You know that. Even though lots of people don't like the government, you would accept. Lots of people do like the government. So what would a referendum prove?
بهترین راه حل صندوق رأیه و رفراندوم باعث بشود که آیا این حکومت با این قانون اساسی مورد تایید مردم هست یا نه و این البته باید تحت نظارت سازمان ملل باشه که یک بار برای همیشه حکومت متوجه بشه که آیا مشروعیت داره یا نداره.
Defenders of the Iranian government say that high turnout in elections, there was I think 73-74% turnout in the last presidential election, that shows that despite everything, the Iranian political system, for all its flaws and deficiencies, still has popular support. What do you say to them?
توجه داشته باشید که ما در ایران انتخابات آزاد نداریم، برای اینکه هر کاندیدایی بایستی قبلا صلاحیتش به تایید شورای نگهبان برسه. بنابراین یک، انتخابات آزاد نیست. دوم، تمام انتخابات نشون داده مردم به کسانی رأی میدن که تا حدودی جبهه مخالف رهبر رو دارن. مثلا در انتخاب روحانی بین روحانی و رئیسی رقابت بود، چون احساس میکردن رئیسی به رهبر نزدیکتره، برای اینکه اون نشه به روحانی رای دادن، نه اینکه روحانی خوبه. و به همین دلیلی که من میگم رفراندوم بکنیم که مردم بیایند بگویند آزادانه که آیا این حکومت رو با این قانون اساسی و این ساختار دوست دارن یا نه. برای اینکه انتخابات نشون میده که مردم این ساختار رو دوست ندارن، رهبر رو به این صورتی که در قانون اساسی پیش بینی شده نمیخوان.
Javad Zarif, the Iranian foreign minister, recently submitted his resignation. He's still in his job. He's become synonymous in Iran and outside of Iran with diplomacy, with reaching out to the West. That's upset more hardline voices in Iran. Now you, I'm guessing, have a lot of disagreements with Javad Zarif. You don't like the government of Iran. But given he's the guy pushing for diplomacy, dialogue with the outside world, isn't it better to have a government with Zarif in it than Zarif out of it?
باید متوجه باشید که سیاست خارجی ایران رو وزارت امور خارجه تعیین نمیکنه، رئیس جمهور هم تعیین نمیکنه، بلکه این رهبری که تعیین میکنه و در نتیجه ظریف هیچ قدرتی نداره، فقط یک پاپته. به همین دلیل وقتی که استفادات دعواش کردن گفتن برگرد، اونم فوراً برگشت.
Some have suggested that Zarif's resignation was a gamble to try and ensure the survival of the Iran nuclear deal, which a lot of people inside of Iran don't like. Some say the supreme leader doesn't like it either. President Trump, of course, has violated that deal, withdrawn the United States from that deal. Do you believe the nuclear deal can survive, given Trump has pulled out, given what's going on in Iran?
من باید بگم که ظریف یا روحانی هیچ نقشی در مورد امضای برجام نداشتن، برای اینکه رهبر اجازه داد و اگر رهبر اجازه نمیداد اینا جرأت نمیکردن که برجام رو امضا بکنند. و در حقیقت به همین دلیلی که من میگم اصلاحات با ساختار قانون اساسی فعلی امکان پذیر نیست، برای اینکه همه اختیارات در کشور برمیگرده به یک نفر که اونم مادام العمر انتخاب میشه، نه به وسیله مردم، به وسیله تعدادی از روحانیون. باز دو مرتبه برمیگردم به این که اینا هیچ کارن، همه تصمیمات رو یک نفر میگیره، برای اینکه قانون اساسی اینو میگه.
You've lived in exile for a decade, since 2009, when you decided not to return from a trip abroad because you believed your life was in danger back in Iran. You say you've lost your property, your family. Your husband was forced to renounce you on tape. You've since had to divorce. Do you think you'll ever see him again? Do you think you'll ever get back to Iran anytime soon?
من زمانی به ایران برمیگردم که بتوانم به عنوان یک وکیل مدافع برای حقوق بشر کار کنم مثل سابق و اینکه چه زمانی این شرایط مساعد خواهد بود بستگی داره به وضعیت کلی ایران و من امیدوارم که در دورانی که خیلی هم دور نیست به ایران برگردم و اون موقع باید تصمیم بگیرم که آیا به شوهرم برمیگردم یا خیر.
Shirin Ebadi, thank you for joining me on UpFront. That's our show. UpFront will be back next week.